I think it's distraction drivers. You can look that up in Google Scholar. Distractions are the number one thing. I think drunk drivers and distracted drivers are two different categories. First, you guys are under 21, so you can't drink. But what if your mom and dad is an alcoholic? You could not have that gene, but your brother could, or your sister could, or you could. So I think you got to be really careful if a person in your family is an alcoholic. How big is the automotive safety industry? It's a huge department in Washington, D.C. Their job is to study traffic deaths, traffic accidents, develop longitudinal studies to help make our roads safer and to avoid loss of life. Man, that was a good one. Let's keep it moving. Why do teenagers get in accidents more than adults? Because you don't have experience. You lose focus. You have more friends in the car. You could look it up, Google Scholar. You have more accidents because you just don't have experience. It takes 10 years to learn how to drive. And in those 10 years, what if mom and dad are driving fast, road raging, scaring you? You may become like them. You may not become like them. You may think it's normal to tailgate and road rage. So your parents want to set a good platform for you, a good foundation, because your first teachers are your parents. And really understand that. And you're going to learn from me, looking at videos, social media, driving games, but you're going to develop your own style. So the number one thing is you don't have experience. And you could look at it, that age group, that 14-9 to about 23, 24, you die more than adults. Common mistakes, pick one. Distraction is number one. That's the number one thing. If you were able to drive with parents, what should we be practicing? I would say just general driving. First, I love that question. Um, Driving around in heavy traffic, driving around rush hour, driving around in the morning, driving around afternoon, driving around at night, driving around in a rainstorm, driving around in a snowstorm. I didn't ask all that. I'm giving you driving situations because all of us won't be driving in a clear, beautiful day. Okay. So the more driving you could do, the better you will become. Now, blind spot checks, that's normal. You should always look over your shoulder if I'm making a lane change to the right or if I'm making a lane change to the left. That's normal. Parking, you have to park. You got to pull in your driveway. That's parking. No, it's not. It's parking. It's stall parking. Angle parking, that's at schools. That could be at malls. Parallel parking, that's on your street. So I would say general driving and all those conditions I met. Good question. How many of the 32,735 deaths were caused by drunk drivers? I don't know, Abigail. I don't have that longitudinal study. This particular example, and looking at it, this is across all age groups. And let me cut down the volume on this so we can go back and look. I like what you said. So hold on. I don't want to cut it down too much. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Okay. I'm going to move this forward a little bit. So they're putting in a longitudinal study here. Okay. They said between 13 and 19-year-olds. So in 2020, 2,767 teens died. They got this from the NHTSA in 2020. You can Google it. You can look it up. Okay, this is across the United States. So across the United States in 2020, the National Highway Safety Transportation Organization did a study. We lost 2,767 teens, 13 and 19. This number could be higher, it could be lower. Can someone Google this? In 2024, 2025 is not over. In 2024, how many deaths happened between 13 years old and 19? You have to put in NHTSA, and it should give you the information. Type that in. Hey, friend, how you doing? Okay, let's keep going. That's a good question. And then hopefully it's less, but it should be more. When you find it, just put it in. Okay. How hard is it to get your CDL license? What percentage of truckers accidents? I don't have trucking information because this is not a truck driving class. How hard is it to get your trucker's license? I think the biggest cost. Okay, can someone type in how much does it cost to get your CDL? Okay, put in Midwest, put in Michigan, put Ohio, put Texas, put Florida. There's your shortage of truck drivers. It costs more than standard driver's education, I tell you that. And you probably have to have, probably, not sure, you probably have to have your vehicle license first. So you guys tap it in. Okay, do you have to have your driver's license before CDL, or can you go straight to CDL? To me, it would be scary if you don't know how to drive a car, but you're trying to drive a truck. That's dangerous. So I don't have that information, but I want you to find it for me and just put it in at the bottom. If the truck driver fails to signal and you get into a collision while the truck and you are turning at the right, whose fault? It depends. It depends on the situation. Um, Obviously, number one, you will look for a turn signal. But if the truck driver's wires came loose or there's a bad ground, the driver may say, my wires were hooked up. Yes, they were. So I would say, give the truck room. And then I would say, you should never be in an accident with a truck because you know they're big. So I'm putting the responsibility on you. Someone's got to be responsible. Do you want someone else to take your life? Oh, I'm sorry. You guys have my life all the time. Emma, cover the brake. I'm relying on you. Abigail, cover the brake. Jacob, cover the brake. Yeah, I'm giving you personal responsibility. So how old do you have to be to get to CDL? I'm looking at the bottom. The cost of the CDL tuition, Cameron, I love you. The cost of the CDL tuition is $3,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on the school. Hold on, bro. You're paying $550 or $600. People don't have $3,000. But you said there's a shortage. There's a shortage. But most people don't have $3,000 lying around. Think about that. Wow. So it's expensive. So that made me pause right there. Cameron, you're on fire tonight. You're going to get some Takis. Thank you, Cameron. So $3,000 to $10,000. Type in, do you have to have your license, your automotive license? Okay, let's keep going. Here, I'm just looking through. Why do you okay, we already talked about that. We already talked about blind spots. Again, I told you, Jillian said if a truck driver fails to signal, you get into an accident. It could probably be the truck driver's fault because you failed to signal. And if you have a dash cam, because I keep telling you, get a dash cam, the driver doesn't have his blinker on. Yep, you're right. It's the truck driver's fault. Should you reverse back a couple of feet when a truck? You shouldn't, Abigail, be that close. 4 cars, 5 cars. Give that truck driver. Well, I feel different because I had a friend named Michael. I'm not gonna say that's the last name. He drives a gravel truck. He said, stay blank away from gravel trucks. Stay away from gravel trucks. Stay away from all trucks. Give them room. Give them room because some people won't let you back up. Where are blind spots? There are 4. Left side, right side, front, and back. There are 4. Left side of the truck, right side, front, and back. 4 blind spots. How much space? 4 cars, 6 cars, 8 cars. But stay away from the no zones. There's a video on that. Stay away from the no zones. Stay away from them. If you're in the truck's blind spot and you get crashed by the truck, that's your fault. I had my mirror. I didn't see them. I was in between the front of your cab and the back of the trailer. You're in my blind spot, ma'am. That's your fault. Well, I guess you're going to have to go to court and fight that. Do you really want to do that and your car smashed? What if the truck's blind spots? Okay. What if you're in a truck's blind spots and they hit you? Whose fault? It's your fault because you're in the truck's blind spots. They have the no zones. Does the DUI stay on? It does stay on your record 4 years to 6 years. Can you get your driver's license back after getting your job? Yes, you can. You're going to have higher insurance. Um, you could have to have a breathalyzer in your car, a device to blow into if you're chronic and you have an alcohol problem. It's a situation you don't want to go down. Let's keep moving. Does your blood alcohol level differ from people who are bigger or smaller? Yes, it does. How come Cameron is balling out tonight? Cameron is raising the roof. How come Cameron is carrying the class tonight? Let me stop for a second. Let me see Cam. Where's Cam at? Cam, you are balling tonight. Cam is carrying the class and asking great questions. So it does differ. If you're smaller, it's going to take less alcohol to get to that 0.08. It's going to take more if you're larger. People who are muscular takes more. If you're fat, takes less. We have different body types. Penalties, take your license, probation, tether. I'm smiling because there used to be a probation. Tether. It depends on the judge. So if you refuse, you're going to get points. Thank you. I want to keep going. I need to see other people's stats, Cameron. What if your BAC is 0.75? You're getting pulled over regardless of whatever your level is. You could be driving while impaired. Maybe you took cold medication and you appear to be drunk, but you're kind of drifting. They could get you for driving while impaired. You don't want to be in that situation. What are legal consequences? More fines, more money, longer penalties. What is super drunk? You're taking 6 drinks, 10 drinks, 12 drinks. Okay, so you just don't drink. But I want to drive, but have a designated driver. And the levels are higher. If you want to know more, we can get into that. Would you get a ticket? 0.1. Ooh, close. You could. You probably might get a warning. But if the officer wants to err on the side of caution, they have a body cam. And if you're walking sideways on that line, you're drunk. If you can't count or can't repeat something, they have field sobriety tests, you're drunk. You better have a good lawyer. So there's no in between. What are specific things you need to know? We just went over this. We went over the rules, the regulations, the penalties. Always speak truth. It's impossible to get 3. It's impossible to get there with no opening in the merge. I'm kind of confused. In terms of merging, you want to, I'm an early merger. I like to get in early. My students, when I first started driving, I would have them wait till the last second, but they couldn't get over in time. And if you can't get over in time, you're going to get hit. So I've learned to have my student drivers get into the lane early and merge in early because we're driving people who don't know what to do. And I don't want to put undue pressure on you. Where does information with these studies come from? There is no win situation. Cam, you're the student of the year, man. You can find longitudinal studies to prove your point either way, but you want to find the best studies, the best information. Sometimes in life, it is a no-win situation. You need a car. You can't afford a new one, but you get an old one that could break down. That's a no-win situation, but you still need a car. But if you get a new car in 3 years, it will depreciate and lose money. That sucks. So don't get a new car. So that's kind of a no-win situation. I like it. We can discuss further. Cam, I like what you're saying. If late merging is supposed to be better, why don't they make it a law? Every state is different. Don't you love Texas or Oklahoma or California? We can't legislate laws for each state can make their own laws. Don't you love that? Okay, great. What do you do if you're trying to zipper merge, but no one lets you? Don't do it. Get in early. If no one lets you in, then I guess you better keep trying to move and so on. Turn on your blinker, look over your shoulder, wave your hand, try to get in. But some people won't let you in. I'm trying to answer your question as if we were there. What if someone does not let you move in and you're about to hit the cone? So I guess you're about to eat a cone. Don't eat a cone. What does the zipper merge improve? We already talked about the traffic flow. If it reduces less backups, less people standing there, less fuel being wasted, we have more semi trucks. So if everyone gets in at the proper time, we have less backups. What gets a tailgater to be tailgated? You're driving too slow. If the tailgater swerves and hits another vehicle, would it be the tailgater's fault? Not necessarily. It depends on the situation. Get a dash cam. The officer will interview the tailgater and the person. But in our location, if you rear end someone, you're at fault. So the best advice: keep your speed up, and if someone is tailgating, maintain good speed. Whose fault is it if your car is tailgated and the car in front of you brake checks? We already said that. It's probably your fault because you did a dangerous maneuver. If someone is tailgating me into tailgating someone else, that should never happen. Why? You want to keep space in front. You can protect your space in front. You can't protect your space in back. So someone is tailgating you, and now you tailgate someone else. All of you will get a ticket. So avoid those situations. It's like you're playing with the ink pen in class and you know it's going to bust and put ink all over your hand, but you still do it anyway, like one of my sixth graders did today. Don't play with the ink pen and break it. Don't eat Takis in class and ask your teacher, can I go get some water? No, you just had Takis. Can I go get some water? No. What should you do instead of tailgating a person in front of you? Keep space. Don't tailgate them. Always leave room. What if you're being tailgated a while and there's no other way and they get very aggressive? Keep space. People will always lose their mind. What should you do if the driver's tailgating you in heavy traffic and there's no lane change? Keep space. It's really hard, but I think if you have some simple things, use your blinker, keep space. You really have to have like a chilled, balanced, like I'm meditating now. I'm in my Zen pose. You got to be relaxed when you drive. What is there absolutely no way? Keep space. When you are moving lanes, do you yes, you always use your turn signal in a directional lane change, no matter left or right. It's a ticketable offense. If there's the emergency vehicle with the lights on, you pull over to the right. The emergency vehicle goes first. They have priority. How does the intersection of four-way stops affect how fast traffic moves in the backup? It doesn't, because everyone has to stop. That's a really good question. It doesn't. Everyone has to stop. Would it be a good idea to put a roundabout? It could. Cameron, you're the student of the year. Man, if you turn right, do you always have to if you turn right, do you always have the right of way if the person is going left? Whoever gets there first. And if two cars come together, the cars on the right. And if you're turning right and they're going left, and if you guys come together to you can make your right, they can make their left. Good. Who has the right of way in a four-way stop if two vehicles arrive at the same time, perpendicular directions? Both, because you're going perpendicular, you're not turning. Whoever stopped first, go. If they come at the same time, you look, you check, no blinkers, boom, boom, you go. What happens if the car who doesn't have the right of way accidentally, then it's their fault. Timing is the main thing. Yes, timing is whoever gets your first goes first. What if there are three cars and they come at the same time? The car on the right has the right of way. How do roundabouts improve convenience per tradition intersections? They facilitate less conflict points. You can push more traffic through. Was the signal with the flags only one way, trying to warn people of the new system? Yes. Wouldn't the big spot in the middle cause a big blind spot? Not necessarily. You can look around. It could. You can look around to the left or look around to the right. But you have to have that island there so people just don't go straight through the circle. Get it? That's a good question, Megan. What what should you always make sure of when you're going yield to traffic in the roundabout? Do cars going in the roundabout start on the outside? Yes, because they're on the outside of the roundabout and then they go in. So all cars start on the outside. Imagine we're driving. Before we go in, we look to the left to check. If cars are in there, we have to yield. So all cars start on the outside. Good question. Do you signal in a roundabout if all of you, do you signal in a roundabout? Are all roundabouts the same? No, they're different. Some are 2 lane roundabouts, some are 1 lane roundabouts. Some roundabouts go straight through, some roundabouts go to the right only. So you need to know where you're going before you get there. Are there less or more accidents in there are more accidents in traditional intersections? You can look it up, do a Google search. There are less, an example, there are less severe accidents in roundabouts. There are less conflict points. What do you do if you go the wrong way? Stop and try to turn around immediately. Pray. I have a question. Either reason ever get pulled over, like if your car breaks. You just want to get over to the side immediately, turn on your four ways. Why do people think it's okay for the police to know what happens? The police officers are trained to assign fault. They're going to listen to your story, listen to the other person's story. If you have a dash cam, they want to see the video. They're going to determine who's at fault. Why would a person choose to cross illegal? Because people don't care. They don't care. Is it okay for emergency? Yes, but I'm not an emergency worker, so I don't know. The emergency vehicles can circumvent traffic. They want to try to do it in the safest way possible. Again, I'm not an emergency vehicle operator. You would have to look that up. It varies from state to state to state. Let's pretend the emergency vehicle crossed the stripe line and hits one. It's probably their fault. But every rule is different. Just because you're an emergency vehicle operator doesn't give you like you can go crazy. Good question. What if someone passes a yellow line and hits the car? Your fault. What if someone crosses the line but it doesn't injure anyone? Well, no one noticed. People always notice. And then if you cheat, they cheat. What should you do if you see someone crossing the striped lines? Just follow the rules. You'll get a chance to get up to the light. People get caught. Is it ever okay to make a left turn instead of going right? You want to, Abigail, I love your question. You want to know where you are before. Hey, I can only make a right here, but I need to go left. Well, you're going to have to go right, then turn around. Or I need to go straight, but you have to make a left. So you need to know before you get to the road that you're on, and that's a little hard for beginning drivers. You cannot cross the safety zone no matter what. Okay, I like the questions. Type in one thing you learned, please. I'll be typing one thing you learned. I like the questions. Cameron, you balled out, man. Like you balled out. Like you getting the chicken dinner, you getting Takis, you getting some cookies. You really balled out. Really high level questions. Good questions. We all learned tonight. And that's what it's all about. We learned to, yes, use the bathroom. We learned tonight. And that's the beautiful thing about teaching. We had this great conversation. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Look at my stand store, look at the link, and set up for a coaching call with me. And we have a couple digital products. There are going to be more coming in soon. Thank you.